I lost myself trying to save everyone. I was everybody's shelter while my own roof caved in. I kept saying I'm okay while I was dying within. I saved everybody else, and nobody noticed I was losing myself. I learned how to smile when I wanted to scream. Learned how to carry a weight nobody could see. Everybody called when their world came apart, so I handed them pieces of my already broken heart. I answered every call, even when mine went dark. Lit fires for everybody while I froze in the spark. They said you're so strong, like strength, man, I don't bleed. Like being the strong one, man, I never had needs. I became the shoulder, became the advice, became the person who would sacrifice twice. If somebody was drowning, I jumped in the deep, but every time I pulled them out, I sank underneath. And nobody asked what it cost me to stay. Nobody saw how I disappeared day after day. I kept giving pieces until there wasn't much left, and looked in the mirror like, who is this? I wasn't afraid of being alone. I was afraid that if I stopped saving everybody, they'd finally realize they never needed me. So I swallowed my pain so they could breathe, put their emergencies before my needs. I called it love, I called it loyalty, but somewhere in the middle, I forgot who I used to be. I lost myself trying to save everyone, carry their storms too. I couldn't see the sun. I gave them my heart when mine needed a home. Now I'm standing in the ashes, learning how to stand alone. I lost myself trying to save everyone. Love people so hard that I came undone. But if losing them is what it took to find me, then maybe this pain was supposed to remind me I was never born just to rescue everybody. I was born to become somebody too. I remember nights I couldn't sleep because they called, listening to somebody else's problems while I slowly dissolved. They tell me the secrets, I carry them home, then hide mine in the room where I cried alone. I knew everybody's birthdays, their fears and their scars, but forgot the last time I asked myself how I was. I knew who was hurting, who needed a ride, who needed money, who needed a place to hide. But when my world collapsed, the phone got quiet. Funny how silence gets loud when you really need guidance. I stared at that screen like maybe they'll call. 1 minute passed and another, nothing at all. That's when I learned something painful and true. Some people only love what your sacrifice does for them. They don't miss you when you're hurting in silence. They miss the version of you that made life convenient. And that hurt, cause I wasn't asking for money, I wasn't asking to be rescued. I just wanted somebody to notice that the person holding everybody together was falling apart too. I lost myself trying to save everyone, turn my own heart into somewhere they could run. I became their shelter, became their escape, while mine was collapsing right in front of my face. I lost myself trying to save everyone. Thought being needed meant I had to become numb, but now I'm learning what I should've known. You can love somebody deeply without abandoning yourself to prove it. I used to think saying no meant I wasn't kind, so I said yes until I ran out of time. Yes to the favors, yes to the pain, yes to people who disappeared and came back again. I forgave things I never even talked about, smiled through betrayal so nobody found out. I kept the peace while it destroyed mine, called immaturity while I was dying inside. I wasn't weak, I was exhausted. There's a difference, one means you can't fight, the other means you've been fighting too long. And I have been fighting everybody's battles while losing the war inside my own chest. I spent so much time making sure everybody survived that I forgot to ask whether I was still alive. If that line feels like your life, don't just listen to it, tell somebody your story. I lost myself trying to save everyone, put everybody first till I became no one. I gave them everything I wish somebody gave me. still a man inside me, learning how to trust. Maybe I needed to lose them. Maybe I needed the silence. Maybe I needed the empty room when nobody needed anything from me. Because for the first time, nobody was calling, nobody was asking, nobody was taking, and it scared me. And something happened, I heard my own thoughts. For the first time in years, I heard myself.
What do I want? Who am I? What happens when I stop performing strength? What happens when I don't answer? What happens when I finally choose myself? And the answer wasn't selfish, it was survival. I started putting boundaries where apologies used to be. Started protecting my peace like it belonged to me. Stop explaining every decision I made. Stop chasing people who enjoyed watching me chase. I learned that love doesn't mean losing your identity, and loyalty doesn't mean accepting somebody's disrespect. You can forgive without reopening the door. You can miss somebody without needing them anymore. I can wish you the best and still walk away. I can love you and still choose me. Because sometimes the person you keep trying to rescue is the person you have to stop rescuing, so they can finally learn to stand. And sometimes the person you keep abandoning is yourself. I lost myself trying to save everyone, but I found my voice when the saving was done. I found my heartbeat underneath all the pain. Found out I could lose people and still remain. I lost myself trying to save everyone, but now I'm becoming the man I should have become. No more dying just to prove that I care. No more carrying people who won't meet me halfway there. I'm not heartless, I'm healed enough to have boundaries. They might say I've changed, they're right. I changed because pain taught me what comfort never could. I changed because being everybody's answer left me with questions about my own life. I changed because I finally realized that some relationships survive only when one person keeps bleeding. And I'm done bleeding for acceptance. I'm done confusing being available with being loved. I'm done believing that my value comes from how much I can endure. If you only love me when I'm useful, then you never really love me. You love what I could do, and that's a lesson I won't forget. So if you ever feel guilty for choosing yourself, remember this: a drowning person can't save another drowning person forever. Sometimes you have to climb out of the water, not because you stopped caring, because you finally started caring about your life too. I got scars from every person I try to carry, but I won't let those scars become the reason I'm angry. I won't become cold because somebody was cruel. I won't become them just because they broke the rules. I'm taking my lessons, I'm leaving the blame, taking my failures and building my name. Every sleepless night became part of my spine. Every goodbye taught me how to protect what is mine. I thought the ending was proof I failed. Now I see the ending was where I prevailed, because the old me would've begged them to stay. The new me says, if you don't wanna walk beside me, I won't hate you, but I won't stop walking. I lost myself trying to save everyone. Now look at me, I finally know who I've become. I don't need everybody to understand my pain. I don't need their permission to rebuild again. I lost myself trying to save everyone, but the man in the mirror isn't finished, he's begun. I gave away my light, but I found another flame, and everything I survived is now part of my name. I am still here, still breathing, still building, still becoming. And maybe that's your story too. Maybe you were the one everybody called, the strong one, the dependable one, the person who never said no, the person who checked on everybody while secretly hoping somebody would check on you. Maybe nobody came, maybe they left, maybe they chose somebody else. Maybe they used your kindness until you had nothing left. But listen, you don't have to become bitter, you just have to become wiser. I don't regret loving, I regret forgetting myself while I did it. There's a difference. I don't regret showing up, I regret believing people would automatically show up for me. But I'm not living in regret anymore. I'm taking every broken piece and putting it somewhere it belongs. My pain isn't my identity, my past isn't my prison, my loneliness isn't proof I'm why wasn't I enough? Now I ask, why did I ever believe I had to be enough for everybody? That's the question that changed everything. Because here's the truth, nobody tells you. You can spend your entire life being everything to everybody and still come home feeling like a stranger to yourself. Don't let that be your ending. I lost myself trying to save everyone. Now I'm saving the part of me I left undone. I spent years trying to keep everybody alive. Now I'm finally learning how to live my life. I lost myself trying to save everyone, but I found something stronger than where I came from. They can keep the memories, they can keep the blame. I took back my heart and rebuilt my name. I don't hate you, I don't need you, I don't chase you, I release you. And if losing you was the price of finding me, then I finally understand what the loss was worth. To everybody who was always the strong one, I see you. To everybody who saved people while nobody saved you, I know. And to the person sitting alone tonight, wondering if anybody would notice if you disappeared. Don't disappear. You are more than what you do for people. You are more than what they took from you. You are more than the people who left. And you don't have to save everybody anymore. Save your heart, save your future, save your peace, save yourself. Because sometimes the greatest comeback isn't becoming somebody new. It's finally becoming the person you were before everybody needed you to be somebody else. I lost myself trying to save